Hello there, Michaelers. It's 5:04. I said 5 o'clock, so I'm not too late. I hope everybody's doing great. A shout out to my sister. It will be her birthday tomorrow. Could you imagine? Her birthday's on 9/11. Wow. Okay. So 9/11, waiting for someone to pop up. Am I on public or am I on private? Let's see. Let's see. Count to 5. Nobody's here. That means I'm on. There we go. Here's a few people. Boom, right there. Hello there. Hello, 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 hello. It's my sister's birthday. So I figured I'd go live today because I got to get ready for the birthday. So I'm going to go live after I get all dressed, right? So I wish my sister a very happy birthday tomorrow, but her birthday's on 9/11. And you guys, on Michael's birthday, 2001, he would have been 4 plus 3, 43. He was planning on faking his death during the Invincible album, but as I stated in the Alive 3, that Michael went ahead and he had to postpone because the next day, after the 30th anniversary, he was, the terrorists flew two of our planes into the Twin Towers, and Michael was about a mile and a half away. Okay, so he was forced to postpone. So then he postponed and he picked the day of June 25th for a particular reason. And the reason is, I posted an interview that he did, and he said that his happiest times, it was for his 50th birthday, and he did an interview, and he said his happiest times were doing Thriller and Off the Wall. And that's because that's where he separates his life. Climbing up, Pepsi burn, January 27th, 1984, at the pinnacle, the highest height he ever reached. And then it was just a slow decline. So I think he separates his life between upward growth and downward. So anyway, he never got any higher than he did with Thriller. So, we know that Pepsi Burn was right at the height of Thriller. All right, let me move on. Okay, TMZ, their documentary didn't do so hot. It got less than 2 million viewers. So, they need to up it. People tired of hearing about Michael's a drug addict, Michael's a pedophile, Michael's this. Michael's a great guy, okay, that's done great, wonderful things, but there's a lot of truth that mainstream media is not telling, and I got the goods. Okay? All right. So anyway, I have a lot to talk about. I got to get out of here in less than an hour. Okay? All right. So let's see. I know YouTube audience has not seen a lot of stuff, so I'm going to go over a few things. We lost the Queen yesterday. Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II. The first was, I think she started reigning around 1600s, in the early 1600s. And I know, colonialism and the British Empire did a lot of terrible things to a lot of terrible people, especially people that look like me. Okay? But Queen Elizabeth, she was pretty good. She didn't ask to be born into that family. But I think she did good. She reigned for 70 years. She was 96 years old. And I think she was a great lady. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want anybody to be mad at me for that. But I don't recall anything that I don't like that she did. Maybe she didn't respond fast enough when Princess Diana was killed. I don't know. Maybe she couldn't. Maybe she was so distraught. I don't know. But all I know is that I can't think of a less dignified person. Okay. A more dignified person. But I got something for you guys. Okay. This is the Jacksons with her. And with Queen Elizabeth, there's Marlon, there's Michael, I can see Randy, I can see Tito there, and they're all getting ready to meeting the Queen. And then Janet, oh my goodness, how come I don't even have this ready? Okay, Janet also met the Queen. So let's go to Twitter. No, she put it on her I put it on my Twitter. So Twitter, and let's look up Janet. She met the Queen too. She had a much better photo than I had. So, better photo, because my photo is not that good. So, but there was another photo that was good, and there's a better quality of that photo. There's another photo that's good, but you couldn't really see the Queen's face. Okay, so where's the one with Janet? Janet is so talented, man. Janet is, okay, here's the one with Janet. Okay, here's the one with the Queen and Jan. Okay, there you dunk. Okay, there you go, dunk. See? Oh, isn't that sweet? That's very sweet. Okay, and even Snoop Dogg said, hey, when they didn't want to let him in England, the Queen said, let him in. Okay. Also, did you guys see what I posted? The Queen, you got to do, it's in my first Alive, but you got to do a background check. Anybody goes to the Queen, you got to, check their ID, check their background, make sure they're not going to kill the Queen, right? So here's an invite from the Queen that I found online. And it's in the name of Michael Joe Jackson, which is Michael's real legal name. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, I got more stuff for you guys. And then I'm going to get to the good stuff. Okay? I'm going to get, Pearl. All right, here we go. Facebook. Okay, because I usually put it on my Facebook. All right, so... And then when I was watching all the footage of Queen Elizabeth, right? I was watching all the footage of Queen Elizabeth, and all of a sudden I went, oh my God, Catherine Jackson wore her hair just like Queen Elizabeth. So the reason why I'm going to say Queen Elizabeth first is because Queen Elizabeth's older. Queen Elizabeth is 96, Catherine is 92, bless her heart. God, it makes me worry about her. But hey, John McCain's mom lived to be 107, so you never know with Catherine. You never know. So God has blessed that family, and let's hope they continue to. All right, so let me show you guys. Same hairdo. Okay, there's the Queen's hairdo, and there's Catherine's hairdo. There's Catherine's hairdo and the Queen's hairdo. Yep, because Catherine is a queen too. Especially us black people, we consider the Jacksons royalty. Michael, king of pop, Janet, princess of pop. Okay, there we go. Okay, same hairdo. Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so anyway, we wish Catherine the absolute best. Prince Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., even though Michael's real name is Michael Joe Jackson. Hey, I just report the facts, okay? He hung out with Steve Harvey, okay? And the whole audience was black, okay? Let me see if Steve still has that up. Let's go to Instagram.com/Harvey. Is that, let's see. There we go. It's Steve and Marjorie. That's his wife, Marjorie. And let's see. Is this the one? Is this the video? Oh, yeah, here it is. Let me show the video. Let me turn the volume up.
Even the videos that you have on Instagram, like, you give me inspiration almost on a daily basis.
At the thing that when I met, pulled out some pictures.
We're going to start it over. It's going to start over.
A lot of people and stuff being white in school.
You ever seen that picture? I have not seen that picture. I feel like I've seen that outfit before, but I've never seen that picture. That's crazy.
Okay, the birthday party.
That was me and him backstage at BET. And I got all the pictures. And when I was explaining to Mike how I was doing, I showed him his picture of his father and me backstage at the BET Awards the night that he put the cake on James' back. I had a bunch of pictures, so we had a great time, man. Some wonderful kids.
So let me do the beginning again.
You've been an idol to me, to so many people in my family. You're a great guy to my dad because of your work that you do within the community, even the videos that you have on Instagram. Like, you give me inspiration almost on a daily basis.
At the thing that when I met pulled out some pictures that I don't share with a lot of people and stuff being white in school.
You ever seen that picture? I I have not seen that picture. I feel like I've seen that out there before, but I've never seen that picture. That's
That was me and him at the 50.
wow.
That's your uncle.
Wow.
That was me and him backstage at BET. And I got all the pictures. And when I was explaining to Mike how to do it, I showed him his picture of his father and me backstage at the BET Awards the night that he put the cake on James' back. I had a bunch of pictures. We had a great time, man.
So we are very, very, very pleased with Prince's representation and making sure that he reaches out to the black people, because Michael is black and the family is black, and you know, black people the one that took the Jacksons out of the ghetto and into Encino, into a mansion, okay? Because very segregated back there, and Berry Gordy, he targeted black people, and black radio was very segregated in the 60s and 70s. Very, very segregated. It still is, kind of. Okay, so very, very, very pleased with Prince, and let's see what else I have. Before I get started with the transcripts I've been going over. And I've been going over Catherine's transcripts from the Catherine versus AEG live trial. And I've also been going over the transcripts for Debbie Rowe. Okay, and it is what I said, it's been reporting, but I was never able to show you the transcript. So I thank Angie for sending me the transcript. So I was able to go through it. It took me like a whole day just to read all the transcripts, okay? But before I do that, let's make sure. Oh, I do have something before I get started on that. I do have something. Where is it? Oh, man. Don't tell me I'm a dang bat. I had it all up. I had it up. Okay, you can identify a body through a photograph, okay? Let's see. Identifying dead body via a photograph, via a photo. Okay. I think this is it. No, that's face identification. Can I confirm the identity of a dead body with a photo. Okay, with a photo. Okay. I had it. I have found it. And then I closed it like a dum-dum. Okay, like I closed it. But you can. You don't need to go in there. And you can just Google it. It's somewhere. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Control F, and let's look up the word photo. Okay. Nope, that's not the one. Yeah, so you can, oh, this is it. Control F, photo. Okay, here we go. Most identification is done using a photo. Okay? Fact, this is the website, How Identifying a Body in Real Life is Nothing Like TV or Movies. And here it is. Fact, most identification is done via photograph in a comfortable sitting room. No dramatic reveals here. In fact, the photograph is often presented to the witnesses face down, and the chief medical examiner or morgue attendant calmly explains what they are going to see to minimize shock. All right, so you can use photograph. Okay, you don't have they didn't have to even go down there. They could just use a photograph. Okay, but the coroner said he named and identified the dead body via a driver's license, and the driver's license, all Michael's driver's licenses, okay, I found 3, maybe 4, in the name of Michael Joe Jackson, okay? So if they're 5 years, that say 4, that's 20 years. He got his first license when he was 26. So, you know, hey, 4, 26, 46, and it was expiring, and then he got one in 05, right? Yeah, 05, right? So that would probably be all of them, okay, in the name of Michael Joe Jackson. None in the name of Michael Joseph Jackson, and all the death documents are in the name of Michael Joseph Jackson. And the coroner can't just change his name because he wants to. Okay, I can change my name. I can call myself Pootie Tang. I could call myself Peter Medani if I want to, right? But when they ask for the legal name, you can't call me that if they ask for a legal name. Okay, a legal name is still a legal name. All right, so we got that out of the way. They had dental records. Okay, they had dental records before I go there. Yeah, they had dental records, right? From two of Michael's Las Vegas, dentists, too. Okay, so why didn't they use the dental records to identify the dead body, right? We've all seen on TV you can use dental records to identify the dead body, you know, even though Michael has a mother, father, and 8 brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews and friends and all kind of people. But nope, the coroner said he's going to use a driver's license that doesn't exist. Okay, so when we go dental records, Control F, let's see. Oh, that doesn't work here. So with the dental records, where did I put it? Where did I put the dental records? Okay, I think I put that on my Facebook page. And let's see with the dental, right here we go. Here we go. All right, this is from the autopsy, okay? I transcribed it into regular text so I can find things, even though I read it. Okay, so this is the number, 2009-04415, Michael Jackson, Michael Joseph. Odontology. Consult. Okay. He's a 50-year-old black man who died unexpectedly. Please examine for dental contribution to cause of death. Postmortem AP and lateral skull findings review of the 2 films reveal history of routine restoration dentistry. There were incomplete dental records, aka didn't match, from 2 Las Vegas dentists who perform restorative and surgical treatment for the decedent. So the dental records should have matched. I mean, everywhere you turn, it seems like with Michael, it's not him. Okay, the dead body's not him. They didn't use the dental records. Said they were incomplete. That means they didn't match. Okay, they didn't match. From 2 dentists? Okay, so there we go again. More of the coroner's BS. Okay, I mean, I'm just, and then I get all this abuse because I'm an investigative journalist and I'm figuring out stuff. I don't make up stuff. I don't make stuff up. Okay, the dental records were incomplete. Okay, you guys saw it like I saw it, right? You saw the word incomplete. I'm not seeing things, right? I'm not making it up, right? Yeah, incomplete dental records, okay? So the body wasn't his, okay? Because if it was, it would have matched the dental records and they could have positively identified the body via the dental records. So they didn't use the family. They say Catherine was informed, but on the death certificate it says LaToya was the informant. I mean, oh, and no mention of anything with lupus, but Michael's lupus could have been in remission. He had discoid lupus, that means lupus of the skin, and there is this picture of Michael with red cheeks, and they said that they discovered that Michael had the discoid lupus when he was going in for his acne treatment, and then he got burned by the Pepsi, and so then they had to do all this test, and that's when Dr. Klein figured out that he had lupus per Debbie Rowe, who worked in the office as a receptionist, but everybody called her an assistant. And she says, let's get to Debbie Rowe. Let's go ahead and get to Debbie Rowe. Okay, before we do that, let's get to Catherine Jackson's testimony. Okay, let's get to Catherine Jackson. Okay, how much time do I have? Okay, I got plenty of time. Okay, let's see. Remember I told you guys with Catherine Jackson, she said that she had no proof that Conrad Murray was in jail? Remember? I remembered her saying that, and the lady, Deborah something, she was Brazil, I think that was her name. She was part of I think it was Deborah Brazil. No, maybe not. No, this is Catherine versus AEG trial. Some attorney, Okay, forget who it was, but it was a woman. And when she said this woman was like, I remember her face saying, oh my God. So here it is right here from the Katherine Jackson transcripts. Okay, here it is. Question, and you saw that Dr. Conrad Murray was convicted criminally in that trial, correct? Katherine says yes. And he's in jail now. Katherine says, I suppose. Then the lady says, are you unsure of that? Katherine says, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But I hope he is. Okay? I tried to prove that Conrad Murray's in jail, and I still have not gotten any proof. It shows that he was in jail for the records of the, if you go look in the records of who was incarcerated, it showed that he was in jail, right? A lot of people can get interviewed in jail. They can bring cameras in and everything. Conrad Murray called on the phone. Okay, there was a group of reporters when he got released. They didn't see him come out, but they caught him down the street at an In-N-Out Burger. Lenny Dykstra said that, it was reported that he was in jail with Lenny Dykstra and Janet Jackson's ex-husband, James. What the hell? Okay, but he was in solitary confinement. I had met a nurse. There's more with Katherine. I had met a nurse just on a whim at my job, and just at a whim. And she was like the head nurse at Twin Towers. And I was like, you work at Twin Towers? She's like, yeah. And I said, oh, have you seen Conrad Murray? She says, Conrad Murray? She said, the one that killed Michael Jackson? I was like, yeah. And because I didn't want to let her know I'm a Michael Jackson investigator. And she said, he hasn't come across my desk. I'm just saying. I have not been, I tried to see him. It got rejected in 2 seconds automatically. And I don't know. But Katherine says she can't prove it. Did she try to prove it and she couldn't? She said, but I hope he is. And then, and Mrs. Jackson, is it true that you asked the district attorney to drop the $100 million restitution claim against Conrad Murray? Yes, I did. And why did you do that, ma'am? Hold on. The one that killed your famous son. You like, nah, I'm gonna drop the case against him. Nah. Nope. I don't want to sue him. And here's her reason why. Okay, here's her reason why. Okay. I asked him to drop it because of his children. He had quite a few children, 7 or 8, I heard, I don't know. And after you asked the district attorney to drop the $100 million restitution claim, did the state of California then drop that part of the claim against Dr. Murray? Katherine said, I didn't find all that out, but I imagine they might have. Well, were you were in criminal court, weren't you, ma'am? Yes, I was. And do you recall it being announced in the criminal court that you were dropping part of that claim? No, I didn't hear it in criminal court. Okay, Miss Jackson, did you drop the restitution claim because of the effect it would? Okay, let's see if I kept the rest. Okay, let's see if I have some more. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Because of the effect it would have on this lawsuit? Katherine says, no, I never gave it a thought. Question, Mrs. Jackson, I want to talk to you about your son for a moment. Michael Jackson, during his lifetime, you never witnessed him under the influence. She said she never saw Michael high. Okay, so or loopy or anything. All right. If you want to read the rest of it, you can just Google and you can find it. Okay, but she don't want to sue Conrad Murray. Remember Dr. Joe saying, leave Conrad Murray alone. They know that Conrad Murray was the doctor who had to take responsibility for that cryonic body double, so everything was done on the up and up. Just like I showed you in my short film, Prisoner of Fame. Remember, they brought the cryonic body and the cryonic technician said, medical license and identification, please. I did that on purpose. Everything in the movie is put there on purpose. Okay? So anyway, just want to let you guys know that everywhere you look, it's just more and more and more proof. Mainstream media they're so focused over there, which is the greatest trick a magician can do, is get you distracted and have you looking somewhere else where all the trick is done over here. And this is mainstream media. They're over there. Okay? And I'm over here. My eyes are over here looking because I know it's a trick. Okay. All right. Anyway, so there you have it. Now let's get into Debbie Rowe. I've been vindicated with Debbie Rowe. Okay. I've been saying since 2013 that Debbie Rowe is a horrible person because she, Dr. Klein, and Dr. Hoffman purposely addicted Michael Jackson to drugs. And I was shocked in the TMZ Who's Killing Michael Jackson documentary. Homegirl broke down. Okay, and she says that she sucks as a human being, that she watched them, Dr. Klein, okay, and she mentions here Hoffman, addict Michael Jackson to drugs. Well, she didn't say Michael, other people to drugs, very famous people on drugs. She knows it's Michael Jackson. She crying, she feels all bad, she knows she should be punished, and she should be punished, okay, because Debbie Rowe, she says she went to EMT school. Okay, so let's go to her EMT testimony. All right, because they asked her about her EMT training. I have a lot saved here for her. Let's see. EMT. Debbie said that I thought she said 6 months, but correct me. I went and I read it said 9 months. Okay, EMT training. All right. Let's see. Oh my goodness, where is it? Oh, real quick. Guess how Michael met, I thought Michael met Dr. Klein because he was looking for a good dermatologist. I think I read that in his book, that he was looking for a good dermatologist, so he figured the best one was in the best, richest place, which was Beverly Hills, and he ended up at Dr. Klein's. But Debbie Rowe testified that David Geffen introduced Michael to and it could be both answers. Okay, question. You first met him, Michael, as a new patient of Dr. Klein in the 80s. Would that be fair to say? Yes. He was introduced to Dr. Klein by David Geffen. He was introduced to Dr. Klein by David Geffen. Yes, true. Okay, and the first time he came in, would you agree that he was still in his early 20s and still living at home with his mother? Yes, he came in, you said, for treatment of acne. Is that correct? Yes. And would you agree that at this time in his life, his acne caused him considerable embarrassment? Yes. Okay. So, I guess it could be both. I guess he could have... David Geffen, he was on CBS. David Geffen wasn't on CBS, but hey, the music business at the top is very small. Okay, so it could be both. He could have had a list and asked David Geffen which one, and David said, oh, I know this one. Okay, so it could be both answers. Okay, so let's keep going. Here it is. Debbie and her EMT training. Okay. I don't know if I saved everything. Question. All right. And the EMT training now is even more intense than it was in the 70s when I look. Okay, I don't answer. This is Debbie. I got her certificate. I don't remember if it was a state certificate or not. I don't remember at all. Are you still certified as an EMT? I have no idea. Homegirl didn't even get certification, because you would remember if you graduated from college, right? Or you graduated from it, right? You would remember. Then they asked her what school she went to. And she was like, maybe this school, maybe that school. I don't know. I'm just wondering. Okay, did she even get certified? She didn't remember. Okay? And here she is doing injections. Hold up. Let's see. Okay, here she is talking about injections, okay, and EMT. And what was she doing writing prescriptions when she didn't even have an EMT license? At least she don't remember she had one. You remember if you have one or not. Okay, here we go. All right. Mr. Chang, Mrs. Chang, maybe that's who was questioning. She's not. She's an EMT. They asked her if she's a nurse. She's not. She's an EMT. Judge, oh, that's right. Well, in EMT training, do they teach you how to treat people who overdose? What, Debbie? Well, when I went, you weren't allowed to, Judge. It wasn't part of your emergency treatment, Debbie. No, we couldn't do injections. We couldn't do IVs. We couldn't, an EpiPen probably, but we could give injections, but I don't know that Narcan, we would be allowed to do Narcan. I think that only only paramedics at that time. Remember, I'm very old, Miss Change, and Your Honor, because of her lack of foundation, it is also irrelevant. Sustained. Let me ask you, so you were reducing the dosage. How often did you do that with Mr. Jackson in this time period? Answer, if he came in more than once a week. Answer, and he was coming in more than once a week. Debbie Rowe, her personality is she's a boss and she's a hothead and she's a know-it-all. When she met Michael, she said, and I don't know if I saved that part, she said, you're the best at what you do and I'm the best at what I do. So Michael, being innocent, being, thinking doctors know everything and those people are in their Beverly Hills, so they're going to be smart and you can trust them and everything. So he probably thought that she meant that. No, she was trying to take control like she was the doctor. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you guys. Okay, let me show you. Here we go. Here we go. Question. So in that time period, Debbie was with Michael. He came in like 82 to 84, she said. Okay. So he was around when he got burned by Pepsi. Okay. All right. And also the cosmetic surgery, when he got cosmetic surgery. We're going to get to that. Okay. Question. So in that time period, you're only aware of him doing that with Dr. Hoffman. Answer, no. Answer, he never did it with Dr. Klein with me. I was like assigned to him. And so I can't say he was my patient because I can't practice medicine. Oh, I was about to say something that was going to incriminate me. Let me back up. But he was my patient. And when things were done, I was the assistant that he had. Question. And in this time period, were you assisting Dr. Klein? And by that, I mean the early 90s. Yes. Prior to 92, going on tour, Mr. Jackson was getting Diprovan, aka Propofol, in that time period with Dr. Klein. I don't believe so. I have to look at his chart. Do you have his chart? Question. I do not have his chart here. I'm going to try to get it tonight, though. And in this time period, though, he was getting it when you were with him with Dr. Hoffman, correct? Because those were surgical procedures, okay? Dr. Hoffman is a plastic surgeon, okay? Dr. Klein is a dermatologist, okay? So both of them had to work together when Michael was getting the cosmetic surgery because his skin keloids. Okay, maybe I show you guys what keloids are. And guess what? Want to know why I transcribed the autopsy into regular text? So I could control F, keloid, okay? No, first I went through it and I couldn't find the word keloids anywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere, right? So then I decided I better translate it. And when I put it in regular text and I controlled F for keloids, sorry, didn't find any keloids. But I'm going to show you keloids and then I'm going to talk to you about how much Debbie talked about Michael and his keloids. Okay, so now let me do this and let's look up keloids. Keloid scars. All right, so let's do images. All right, these are keloid scars. Okay, see? It's when you get a cut or something and the skin grows like extra tissue over it. Mostly happens with black people, but it happens with everybody, but mostly black and Asians, Debbie said. Look at this poor guy, my God. Okay, see those keloids? Michael, poor Michael, poor Michael. dealing with acne, okay? Then he gets burned, right? Then when they sew it up in a line, in a linear, because I've showed you guys the scar before, you know, because somebody was trying to sell Michael Jackson's scar, okay? Let me see if I have it. Let me see. I think I looked at it the other day. Let's see. Michael Jackson surgical scar. Let's see if I can get a photograph of it. For sale. Okay, somebody was trying to sell it. Okay, somebody was trying to sell it. Okay, I'm gonna need this. Let's go ahead and look at this first. Okay, and you guys don't forget I showed you this. See, that's what the scar. That's Michael's autopsy, and that's what they're saying the scar is. Okay. Michael Jackson, the odd autopsy discovery exposed decade after death. Extraordinary. Okay, so that's supposed to be, and there's scars all over. There's scars all over. Okay, let me see if I can find photos. Burn for sale. Let's see if somebody. I had it. I'm just trying to find it, but it's not coming up. Okay, let's see if I have it. Let me Google let me look at my stuff. Okay, and I'll show you Michael's medical records. Oh, I still got some time. Okay, medical scar burn. What did I put it under? What did I find it under? Okay, it's working on it. Okay, so here it is. Found it. Okay, where that's one. Let's see if I have the rest of it. This is kind of this one, but I want to show you guys how they sewed Michael up. Okay, they sewed him up, and it was a line. It was a linear line, right? So then it keloided. Okay, so Michael's hair wouldn't grow because the keloids get kind of big, so his hair wouldn't grow right there, and so he had to wear wigs, but he wanted to wear his own hair. So him and Klein and Hoffman, and then there was this Dr. Sasaki who did the actual reconstructive surgery on his scalp, and he found it. Okay, and the reconstructive surgery on his scalp, and it keloided. Okay, it keloided. So then they had to do more and more treatments to help him, and he was in all kinds of pain. And, you know, meanwhile, he's still working. You know, that's the saddest part. He's still working. He's still going and doing the Bad album, and he's still, you know, doing Dangerous and History, and he's touring the world, and he's doing Ghost and Is It Scary? And, you know, he's trying to keep writing Moonwalker, doing the movie Moonwalk. I mean, this man is busy. Workaholic, right? Because he's trying to overdo Thriller. Never got there. So when he decided to fake his death, that's why he picked that day, and that's what led him to June 25th, because the Pepsi burn was the exact middle day from his birthday to June 25th, 2009. Okay, so anyway, here are the, okay, so there is the burn. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, and this is what they did, and you see how they sewed it up in a line right here. You see, it was like that at first. So I guess when somebody was doing a body double, I don't know, they messed it up. They messed up because this is the line. Okay, and so and the line even got better after the reconstructive surgery. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's get back to Debbie Rowe. Let's get back. So we saw the keloid. So now let's get back to Debbie Rowe. Okay. Where is my stuff? Oh, gosh. Where is it? I keep losing my stuff. Why do I keep losing my stuff when I change a little something? Oh, gosh. Okay, let's see. I still have it. I have it. Let's see. Transcripts. I got a whole folder with the transcripts. Okay, so Debbie Rowe. All right, so this is all the stuff I have that I've saved. You guys can see all that. You see all that I've saved. Okay, so here's Debbie right here. And yes, because after surgery, the area that was done fell apart just because of the discoid lupus. I explained that the skin was what you call friable. It's very soft, mushy, and everything just started falling apart. So it started with the pain again and managing so it wouldn't get the keloids and the scarring. And he continued to get Demerol then from Dr. Klein in this time period up until you left Klein's office. Answer, he did, but he wasn't at the office in an inordinate amount of time, many times. So you weren't worried? No, because I saw him on the set working when he was doing videotaping, and he looked great. Okay. So Debbie's talking a lot about the keloids. Okay, so let me go back and show you guys more how many times she mentions keloids. Okay. And at that time, and at that time again, Dr. Hoffman, would you agree? This is the question. Dr. Hoffman, I don't know if he testified. I think he did. I'm not sure. At that time, was prominent and well-known plastic surgery in Santa Monica. Yes, very good, very, very good. Now, after he recovered from the initial burns, over time, that's when he met Hoffman. Over time, did he develop painful burn keloids on top of his head? There were keloids. I don't believe there's a difference in burn versus a cut versus a shunt. A keloid is a keloid. Question, you've seen keloids in almost your 20 years of working with Dr. Klein. Yes, we used to treat them. You've seen keloids on Mr. Jackson's scalp on his head, correct? Yes. I'm just saying, how come no keloids mentioned on that dead body? Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Linear. Okay. Linear is a line. Okay. Here we go, Debbie. Question. You've seen keloids on Mr. Jackson's scalp on his head, correct? Yes. And you described them. I think you said that they were scars, but they are lumpy and ugly bumps. Answer, and thick. In areas, there are linear and elevated. There is other areas where it looks like the skin has been stretched. And so parts of it are bumpy, parts of it look thin. Some of that happens after cortisone injections, which is a treatment for keloids to help that become flat and less painful. Let me show, she shows some other stuff, okay? I'm going to show you how many scars was on that dead body. Okay, and he never mentioned lifted keloids, extra tissue. Maybe he did. I just didn't see the word keloid. Okay, fancy words in there. If I'm wrong, let me know. Fancy words. The fancy words I saw, a few of them I looked up, and I looked up what they look like, and they weren't keloids. I'm just saying, how come you just didn't use the word keloid? Okay, I don't think I'm wrong. Okay, here we go. Another one saying it was linear. Okay. Question. And now, would you agree that whenever you cut and have a cut, an insertion in people who are predisposed to have keloids, as a result, you get additional scarring and even more keloids, correct? Yes, there are times when you get a cut, when you cut a keloid, you end up with a bigger keloid. There is a lot of times the injections are done. There is other times when Dr. Sasaki, I told you he was the one that did the reconstructive surgery on Michael's head, saw what had happened and said that he felt comfortable instead of having the burn scar, which looked like the lady's chest. In the previous picture, we didn't see the previous picture, they wanted to try to maybe just have one linear keloid to deal with the rotating skin, moving the flap over and to cover the bad part, and then just sew it up in one line. So why on the autopsy did they show a circle? I'm just saying, okay? Oh my God. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we did that. We established the keloids that were linear. The butt. Okay, the butt. Remember, Dr. Finkelstein said in the documentary that Michael had been shot up so many times in the butt that it was hard like a brick, and they know what that means. That means you're getting a lot of injections in the butt. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay. Overruled. I'll rephrase it and move on. Question. He also received a boost of vitamins through an IV on a regular basis while he was on tour, correct? Answer. This is Debbie Rowe. Sometimes IV, sometimes injections in the tushy. So that was misleading, TMZ. He had injections in his tushy for vitamins. His performances while on tour, as you said, it took a lot out of him, correct? Answer, extremely physical. Question, but he had to do what he had to do to get through tours. You saw that with your own eyes, correct? Then Mrs. Stebbins, maybe that's the person, I don't know. Objection, vague, judge. What was your question? What he had to go through? I'll move on, Your Honor. He didn't like needles, correct? No, he did not. But he used IVs for fluids, vitamins while he was on tour, correct? Yes. Based on what you saw, when you were in the room, you were impressed with the doctors, correct? She said, yeah. Okay? So they want to make it seem like Michael was just this huge junkie, right? It was because he was getting vitamins and fluids injected in his butt. That's what happens when you see too many damn doctors. They want to inject you instead of giving you a damn drink of water. Okay? Or, saying, here's a sip, here's a sip, here's a sip. Because if you dance vigorously and you drink too much water, remember they said don't drink too much water before you get in the pool. Before you go swimming, you're going to get a cramp. Remember that? Okay. So, anyway, at least we cleared that up. Okay? We get into some more. We're gonna get to some good stuff. Okay, so let me see. Okay, did I already give you that she was in control of Michael? Okay, here we go. This is her saying she gives Michael drugs. Okay. Question, were you aware of that? Answer, because I was the one who was giving the medications to Michael at the time. Question, and by medication, are you talking about the drugs we already were talking about here? Yes. And when you say you were with him, where were you with him? He had a place in Century City. I worked in Beverly Hills. I would be there every day at lunchtime to take him lunch. And then before I went home at night, I'll stop by to see him if he needed anything, to see how he was feeling. And then if he needed me, I'd come back over. I lived in the valley. Okay. Sounds like a nice chick, right? Oh, she just checking on old Michael just to make sure he's fine. Would she do that if he wasn't Michael Jackson, the famous star? Probably not, but I understand the special treatment for a pop star. I get it. Freaking Michael Jackson. I would have stopped by, but I would have been honest and I would have done him right, okay? She talks about them almost giving my diluted or something, which is AKA heroin. But it's the pharmaceutical kind. Oh, I took that from him. Okay, all right. But the Demerol and all that stuff, Debbie. All right. Wait, hold on. This is the EMT stuff that I was looking for. Oh no, this is about her lying about how long she worked for Dr. Klein. Okay, sorry guys. I'm gonna get back to the other stuff. Is it 27 years, Mrs. Rowe? Answer. Not if you do the math, because if I worked for him in 78 and then I quit in 97, that's not even 20 years. It's 19. 19, all right, 20 years. She had before said she worked for Klein for 27 years, okay? And your position when you worked with Dr. Klein was an office assistant, is that correct? Back office assistant. Answer. And you explained treatments to patient and you assisted the doctor, is that right? Yes. She worked in the back office. And because she's such a bully and such a know-it-all and make people think that she's way more than she is, she did a lot more than she was supposed to, okay? She was not licensed to do all this stuff, okay? Debbie Rowe belongs in jail. Okay, for real. This ain't right. This ain't right. Let's see. Okay. Here is her fearing that Michael was getting addicted to drugs. This is in the 80s. Okay, this is in the 80s. Okay, answer. When we started doing the collagen for the acne scarring, it was the Demerol. When we started doing it through this area and injecting it down and underneath the eye where it was painful, that's when we started the anesthesia. I think we talked about that yesterday. Question. Yes, and because you were friends, isn't it true that at a time came where you were concerned that he might be coming in for the drugs than he was for the procedures? If it was twice in 1 week, yes. Answer. Question. And because you were growing concerns that he might be coming in for more drugs than the procedure, you actually confronted him with that, didn't you? Yes. What did you say to him? I asked him, are you here because you really need the collagen? Why are you here? Answer. You thought he might, question again, you thought he might be there for the drugs that he was getting with the collagen, correct? Answer. I didn't understand why he would come in twice in 1 week for something we had just done. And I don't know. He's a perfectionist. I know he's meticulous, but I didn't necessarily see what he wanted to have done. Question. So you were concerned that he might be coming in for the drugs? Yes. And as time went by, again, because you're his friend, you grew concerned. Oh. Okay. This is after the burn. Okay. Okay. This is before the reconstructive surgery. Okay. So he kept going in, and they kept giving him more drugs, and Debbie was the one in charge of all that. Okay, that's why she says she sucks as a human being, because it's way worse than she will admit. It's way worse than this, because this is her trying to act like she's the goody two shoe. But I read right through it when I was in the courtroom. Okay, let's keep going. Debbie fights for control of Michael with a doctor. Let's check this out. Okay. Answer. He wasn't making eye contact. He wasn't speaking. He didn't make sense when he did, and he said he was having problems with his scalp again, and we got into a fight. I was about to ask about that. So you got into a fight. What did you get into a fight about? I'm a little hot-headed. I went off about forecast. It's Dr. Forecast. I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. Okay, what did you say? I probably shouldn't have used that language, so I'm going to clean it up a lot. The witness. I was angry at Forecast, Dr. Forecast, that had intercepted Metzger, Dr. Metzger. We're going to get into this. That Forecast had undermined everything that was done. I felt that Forecast was hurting him, not helping him, that he was arrogant. I said I didn't even know that. I said I didn't even know that if he had called, and it had only been 6 weeks since I had seen Michael from, I don't remember when it was the 6 weeks before. Give you a little context. Michael's on tour. Okay, and I believe whichever Dangerous, I think, was first before History. And Paul Gungaware, remember Paul Gungaware? Paul Gungaware worked with Michael on the Dangerous tour. Paul Gungaware was also working with Elvis's manager, the Colonel, when the death announcement of Elvis came down. And he was also working with Michael again. Okay? Working with Michael again on This Is It. Right? All right. So, Dr. Forecast. Okay, let me see if I saved it right. Let me see before I go ad-libbing. Let's see. Here it is. I believe this is all Debbie talking. Okay, this is a lot. And he was on Toradol, which is non-narcotic. And he was right here, and it was a fight to get him there, because he had such a fear of pain that would happen if we didn't catch it. This is after the reconstructive surgery, because if you don't get pain before, it's a bad, if you don't get pain before, it's a bad cycle. If you don't catch it before it gets to a certain point, then you have to go overboard. You have to go another way, different way. And he was doing so well, and I didn't want anything to screw it up. And I had talked to him and asked him how he was one morning, and he said he didn't feel good. And I said, well, I'll just bring you soup for lunch then. And I said, I have to see a patient, so I won't be there until later. I got there. Since I took a late lunch, I probably would have gotten there like around 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and everything was gone at the house. Michael got ghost on her butt. Watch this. Okay. And everything was gone from the house. His instruments, his clothes, everything was gone. And I called, I think it was Evie that was working with him. I wasn't sure if it was Evie or Norma at the time. And I said, everything is gone. What happened? And she said, he's gone on tour. And I said, well, how could he just go on tour? I said, he doesn't have any of his stuff. And she said, she sounded like it was, well, they took him. There was really nothing we can do. I mean, obviously, if he had a tour, there's nothing you can do. I don't know, he was leaving. So I called Dr. Metzger, and I told him how concerned I was. And I got a call from Dr. Metzger after I had already gotten home from work that day. And he said I needed to take all of the medications that I had for Michael and bring him off the Demerol and getting him on the Toradol. I needed to take it to this doctor at the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills. And I said, okay, now Dr. Metzger had written specific instructions on what medications were supposed to be given. When they were supposed to be given, and I had all my notes, and I wrote after I did. I always called the doctor before I did something. Sure you did, Miss Know-It-All Bully, sure. I always made a note when I did it. I always called the doctor afterwards to let them know what was happening. You're a know-it-all. Okay, bully. I met this doctor at the Peninsula, and I offered to go over everything with him, and he just grabbed the bag and said, I know what I'm doing. And he didn't want to listen to anything I said. And I called Dr. Metzger, and I told him I was worried about it. And then I found out that Forecast had gone to Bangkok, and the first thing he did was give Michael 100 milligrams of Demerol. And I'm like, he screwed up everything that we've done. Question. And the doctor that you're talking about that you met at the hotel was a guy named Dr. Forecast? Yes. Question. I'm going to try to get us to this point if I can. After the Sheraton, Miss Rowe, was there any other incidences? At the Sheraton, Michael had got so messed up that he couldn't even talk. And so Debbie unplugged all the phones because he loves the phone. Oh, I think I have that phone thing. Michael loves the phone. Okay, where is that about the phone? Okay. Let's see, where is the phone? I think this is it about the phone. Okay. Because they got him too high. Not Dr. Forecast, Debbie. Okay. And I said, I'm taking these. You're fucked up. So I'm sorry. What did he say in response? He said, yeah. And I asked him if it was okay. And then I unplugged every phone in the hotel room. Why was that? Question. He likes to talk on the phone. It's just one of his favorite things to do is talk on the phone. Me, Peter, Michael, Bobby would be on the phone for 8 hours in a whole day, and we'd be on that phone 1,300 hours. He loves that phone, and that's the truth. And why didn't you want him to talk on the phone? Because you couldn't understand what he was saying, so I didn't want him to embarrass himself. And how long did you stay? I was there all night. And did you leave the next day? Where'd he get... They were purposely addicting Michael Jackson to drugs to control him. And Debbie Rowe was heading it. She was, Dr. Klein and Dr. Hoffman was Michael's doctors. I explained that. Dr. Metzger, who is like a neurologist, okay, rheumatoid arthritis for the discoid lupus type of stuff, she was calling him behind Klein and Metzger's back, relating to Dr. Metzger, and Dr. Metzger was telling her what to do, okay? Totally unethical. Okay, because she could be missing a point when she's interpreting it, this, that, and the other. It was just, I just started crying in the courtroom. Because this was just a total mess. Okay, because they were addicting Michael to drugs, and it was all them trying to hold on to their golden goose. Hold on to their golden goose, right? By hook or crook, and if we gotta addict them to drugs, damn it, that's what we gonna do. Okay? I'm just saying. All right. So she took all the phones out. Michael loves talking on the phone. Hold on. I got to get to something fun. I'm going to get to something fun right now. Okay. Let's see. Where is the fun part? Where is the fun one? Let's see. Paul Gungware is the one that hired Dr. Forecast. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get to the fun one, but I keep finding stuff. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. Paul Gungware. Okay. Question. They wouldn't let you see him, correct? Correct. Answer correct. So when they took Michael, they wouldn't even let her see Michael. Okay. Had you ever heard the name Paul Gungware? Answer. I don't know why I know the name. I knew the name when we had the deposition. I don't know why the name sounded familiar. Question. Do you know as you sit here whether it was Paul Gungware who did not let you see Dr. Forecast? Okay, because she wanted to cuss Dr. Forecast out. They wouldn't let her see Dr. Forecast. Question. Answer. I don't know because I went through security. Question. Did you learn that Dr. Forecast had in fact been hired for the tour by the insurance company? Not until yesterday, Debbie said. Objection, lacks foundation. There isn't any evidence that Dr. Forecast was hired by the insurance company. Ms. Chang, she testified to that, Ms. Stephens. She said that was Mr. Brian Panich, which was Catherine's attorney. But also there was a Dr. Finkelstein. Remember I told you with the buds that was in the TMZ documentary? I'll ask another question so we don't argue in front of each other. Sustain. Ms. Rowe, would you agree that not only did Michael Jackson want to stay balanced on the line, but he also asked you to help him stay on that line? So they were trying to push Debbie out because Michael was having problems and Michael was addicted to drugs. So Paul Gungware and them hired Dr. Forecast, and Dr. Forecast and them put Michael in rehab. This is before the reconstructive surgery. Just letting you know. Okay. So Debbie knows that Michael has a problem with drugs. She's seen him so messed up, and she knows he's been to rehab. Let's move on. Okay, where's the fun one? Let's see. Oh God, where's the fun one? Oh God. There is a fun one. Where is it? Where Michael talks, says that her and him would talk on the phone like me and Peter would talk on the phone, and we would watch movies. Where is that one? Where is that one? Oh no, where is that one? That's the funnest one for me. Okay, because that lets me know. Oh, here it is. Found it. All right. Because this is before Peter Michael Bobby and I had been talking on the phone before this happened, before this testimony. Okay. This was 2013. Me and Peter Michael Bobby, who I think is Michael Jackson, using Bobby Anderson as a front, would watch movies on the phone. Okay. Question. Did you also watch movies together over the phone? Answer. We did. He would call me up and say, one time he called and he said, To Kill a Mockingbird was on. We had talked about it and I'd never seen the movie, and I read the book but never seen the movie. Question. Was that a skit in Mr. Jackson's eyes? He loved To Kill a Mockingbird. He was great friends with Gregory Peck. Real quick. Gregory Peck had a dog named Blanket. I believe it was Gregory Peck. Just saying. Okay. And I knew Mr. Peck also. He called and said, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" He said, "Let's watch it together." I said, "Okay." So there came up the word Chifferella, Chipperobe, whatever. So they ended up talking and missing the movie, but they would watch movies together on the phone. Just like Peter, Mike, Bobby. Okay? I'm telling you guys, that was Michael Jackson I was talking to. Now Bobby Anderson is the front guy. Michael's still around, and Michael still have Bobby do things. Okay? But just like I put in Alive 3, Bobby Anderson could be a real person. I'm just saying. Okay? So all the Peter stuff, and this too. All right, so that's the fun stuff. That was fun to find that one. All right, so now let's get back to some more serious stuff, and then I got to get out of here. Oh my God, I'm already late. Okay, so Debbie Rowe pulling rank. Here's Debbie Rowe pulling rank. Here she is, ain't even a nurse, don't even have the, can't remember if she's certified, can't remember the name of the EMT school, but she gonna be running things with Michael Jackson, okay? That's why she says she's a horrible person. Okay, answer. I talked to security and I said I needed to talk to Forecast and that I had to run it by whoever production or whatever was. Did you talk to Mr. Jackson about the idea that you wanted to talk to Dr. Forecast? Yeah. And what did he say? Michael never had a problem when he always called me pulling rank, and he never had a problem with me pulling rank or on someone, because there were times that he didn't know who was screwing with him. He trusted people foolishly trusted a lot of people, and so he had no issue with what was going on to Dr. Forecast. He was probably scared of you, so he was passive aggressive and threw the rock and hit the hand and didn't tell you. Okay, answer. He knew I wasn't going to talk to Forecast. He knew I was going to go and chew his ass out, so he knew what was happening. And did he tell you not to do that? No. Did he tell you he'd help you if you could go see Dr. Forecast? He said I could, and I went and asked security. I need to talk to the doctor. They said they had to run it by whoever it was, and I don't remember the name, and then I was told no. Here is this person that doesn't remember the name of the EMT school she went to. Doesn't remember if she's certified or still certified. But she gonna go tell a doctor what to do and let him know and cuss his ass out. Okay? This is why she is saying she sucks as a human being. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers this or not. Okay? But I remember it. I don't know if I can find it or not. But I think Karen Faye had tweeted at one time that when Michael was under anesthesia, that somebody molested him. I'm just saying, I think I remember that. If somebody remembers it or could find it, please send it to me. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about having kids. So you know Michael's a drug addict, right? You know he's a drug addict because you addicted him to drugs. You know this, right? But you think that he's going to be the greatest father when he's a drug addict. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Okay. Debbie Rowe gave Demerol, whatever, the competition. Oh, here's the competition. Before I get there. Okay, this is the competition that she talks about between Klein and Hoffman. Okay, so I had this Sasaki thing going on. That's the doctor who did the cosmetic surgery. There was the this going on. He was getting ready for a tour, a leg of the tour, I don't know which. And because we couldn't get a grip on the pain, he was saying Sasaki had stepped away from managing the pain. It was left up to Klein and Hoffman, and they were having a pissing contest over who gave the better drug. Question. So that was this time period? Yeah. Answer. And was Mr. Jackson seeing Dr. Klein in this time period as well? Answer. He did. And we were doing the acne scars. Okay. And I would have to look to see about it, like I said, about collagen being approved, to see if we were doing the nasolabial folds. Can you recall when Mr. Jackson was preparing to go back on tour in this period? When? Do you remember that he was preparing in this time period to go back on tour? Oh, yeah. And when he was preparing, this was, I believe, after the cosmetic surgery. Okay. When Michael went on TV and said, I've been addicted to pain pills. Okay. It was Klein and Hoffman who did that. And Metzger in the background, and Debbie Rowe controlling everything. Okay. And when he was preparing, was he coming to see Dr. Klein in terms of seeing a doctor to help him prepare to go on tour? You mean to look better? Uh-huh. Answer. Yeah, he was breaking out and stuff. Question. And in that time period, you mentioned that there was a contest between two doctors. She said, answer, a pissing match, not a contest. It was a pissing match. So those two, no, he's my Negro. He's my magic Negro. No, he's mine. No, he's my magic Negro. Okay? Give him to me. So they're messing with this man, this human being. This is when I cried in court. Giving him such powerful drugs that they addicted him. And Michael wanted to be a goody two-shoe. Michael wanted to heal the world. Michael wanted to make his mother and father proud of him. Michael never wanted to be a drug addict. Never wanted to be a drug addict. And these people did this to him. And if you take the side of Debbie at this point, and her admitting it, then you ain't a Michael fan. You don't care about Michael. This is hard. This is tough stuff. This is tough stuff. And people wanted to call me all kinds of names for being against Debbie. Now you know why. These are transcripts. If you want to read the whole thing, it's on Scribd, and you just have to put in Katherine Jackson versus AEG trial. And you can read it all yourself, because I'm not going to go back and forth and answer a million questions. You read it. If I'm out of context, or if you don't understand something in it, then you read the whole thing. Okay? Because I'm not an expert. Okay? I am just taking pieces out and trying to fill in the gaps to make it a story for you guys. Okay? But I had said that, and I still get choked up to this day. I couldn't do it yesterday. I was just too emotional. Okay, so let's get to Debbie now. 1.5 kids. Okay. Now we know that I have proved that the Michael and Lisa Marie Presley marriage was a hoax. Okay, it wasn't real. Okay, it wasn't. Well, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how they felt about each other. I don't know if after they did it, they fell in love or they had a crush on each other. I don't know. Okay, all I know is that marriage was fake. Okay, it was illegitimate. Okay, and I've explained why. And if you want to go through it, watch the Alive Docu-series. Let's go to transcripts. Okay, question. And in fact, because he wanted children after his divorce from Lisa Marie Presley, did you offer to have children for Mr. Jackson? Answer. I was trying. He was devastated after their divorce. I was trying to help him feel better about it, or try to figure out what happened. I said, what's the thing that makes you the saddest? He said, I never had any children. Yeah, right. That's her telling it. He had Brandon. And I said, well, that doesn't have to keep you from being a father. I said, you can be a father. I said, let me have a baby with you. You can have the joy of being a parent. Question, do you remember, in fact, do you agree to having children with him? Answer, it took a couple of weeks going back and forth thinking about it, and then we talked about it, and then ... Question, you indicated before that you had seen him on the set of Ghost set. Do you recall that? Yes. I just wanted to show real quick, Exhibit 1075 was there. That's an old picture, Debbie says. Can you tell us what this picture is? First of all, you were sitting on my Harley. We all remember the picture, okay? This is what I believe. I don't have the exhibits, okay? But I believe that it was this picture here, and I swear to God, I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go. Let's see. Debbie Rowe telling MJ she is pregnant. Okay, pregnant motorcycle, Harley. Harley, and then I have a typo here. Okay. And he was on the set of Ghost, okay? Set of Michael Jackson. I didn't put Michael Jackson in there. That would help. Okay. Let's see. We all see that he was on the set of Ghost. Here we go. All right, so that's Michael on the set of Ghost, or is it Scary? One of them, right? And this is when she told him she was pregnant, right? So then she goes on and she says, he was so happy, he was jumping up and down, he was so happy. We don't have pictures of jumping up and down. We just have him on the back of her motorcycle, okay? That's what we got, okay? If you see the picture of him jumping up and down, please send it to me. PearlJR@MichaelJacksonInsider.com. Okay. All right. So that's when she told him that she was pregnant, right? Okay. Now she wouldn't did all this on her own, right? Because he's working. Okay. She was supposed to be a surrogate, and that's when she was pregnant with Prince. Blah blah blah. She also talks about a time when Prince was a baby and they were on tour, right? And she tells Grace, the nanny, she says, my nanny, she tells Grace, don't leave Michael with the baby because he's too much on drugs. But meanwhile, she gonna keep going on her own to get pregnant with Paris. On her own. Not like they're having sex and they just happen to accidentally get pregnant. No, she is physically going to a doctor and getting inseminated. Okay? All right. So let's see. Where is that part? Okay. Michael has a phobia of needles. Talking on the phone. Where is that? Begged him, that was her idea to give him kids, like I told you guys. Let's see. Okay, let's see what this one is. Okay. All right, let's see what this one. In fact, to this year, Ms. Rowe, would you agree that you have only seen Prince in Paris a handful of times since your divorce from Michael Jackson? Answer, that's true with Prince, but I was spending a lot of time with Paris. I said prior to this year, would you agree? Oh, yes. Okay. And so I know this year, would it be fair to say that this year you would reestablish seeing your daughter Paris? Yes. Is that true? But before this year, you only had seen Prince and Paris a handful of times, correct? And you never spoken to them about this lawsuit. Is this true? True. All right. So Paris wanted to, I understand with Paris. I totally understand. There was BG, there was Prince, there was Michael, there were boys, and Omar. And then there was Paris. She was the only girl. So Omar's mama was their nanny too at one point, okay? And Omar's father was Michael's driver. And so Paris was all around boys all the time. So I understand why she wanted to have a relationship with Debbie. And I believe Debbie is biologically Paris's mother. Okay? Not a surrogate. But I don't know that for sure. That's just my guess. Okay? Let's see. Where is that part where they talk about... and I gotta go. My sister's having a party. I gotta get out of here. Okay? Here's just one more, and then but anyway, Michael had episodes, and she said don't leave the baby with Michael, but then she's still going to have Paris. So she had another agenda. Okay, because one would be like, oh God, he's a drug addict, I gotta. It's the saddest thing. Okay, here we go. Kind of like went into his office and talked, and everybody agreed that it was a little too much to have Diprovan to sleep. And did you ever discuss it again with Michael Jackson after the interview? I don't think so. A time came, you mentioned that you and Mr. Jackson were divorced, correct? That was in 99. Prior to his passing, when was the last time you had seen him? I think Paris was 4, so it must have been, oh God, I hate to do the math, 2003. And when Mr. Jackson passed, eventually it came out that he had died of overdose propofol, and she yelled and said to Dr. Klein, what did you do to him? Because she had stopped working for Dr. Klein. But anyway, I gotta go. But there was a time that Michael went to rehab again, okay, with the reconstructive surgery, and he had to quit the tour, and we all know what happened with that. And Debbie and there's probably some more stuff. I just gotta go. And I think I went over like all the stuff that I could, but I do have to go. But anyway, Debbie says she only seen the kids a few times. She gave up full custody of the kids to Michael, and he's supposed to be a drug addict. She didn't want them kids. And people wonder why Michael was so desperate to get away. Okay, just like Escape, I gotta get away. It's not only the media, it's other people too. I gotta get away. I just gotta get away. And Michael loved those kids. Okay? How could you not? You've known them since they were babies. You're responsible for them. Okay? So this is a horrible story. I don't think Debbie realized the effects that it would have on other people, her behavior would have on other people. And if she didn't realize, she didn't give a crap. She didn't care. Okay? And now that she's sick, somebody said, how dare you talk about Debbie when she's sick? How dare her addict Michael to drugs when he's sick? When he's sick. Okay? When he's got burns and reconstructive surgery and, acne and lupus and vitiligo. Anyway, gotta go. All right, guys, and I'm sorry. Okay, this is some sad stuff, but you want to know why Debbie feels that guilty? Here's a little peek. Into what they did to Michael Jackson. Okay, gotta go. I love you all. Bye.